Smoking, is it good thing or bad thing? I'm sure you can create a list of all the advantages of smoking. And that list can have hundreds of items in it. The advantages of smoking. So let's start. Why am I not speaking? Well, you must have been already guessing what I was telling you about, right? Well, that's part of the first impression you make on other people. You don't need to start speaking. Before speaking, when you see somebody in the first 10 seconds, a lot of information comes to your head. That is right. That is called first impression. So how about we start assessing a topic on first impression at IELTS Juice? So welcome. Let's start assessing and scoring and improving an essay on this topic. The rubric says, when we meet someone for the first time, we generally decide very quickly what kind of person we think they are and if we like them or not. Now, let me say some elements here. When we meet someone for the first time, so you have not met that individual in your life. This is the very first time. We generally decide very quickly, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, what kind of person we think they are. That happens, right? I'm sure it has happened to you. It has happened in front of you, or hopefully not, but against you. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. And yes, if we like them or not, we decide if we like that individual or not, if we have that chemistry or not. Then we have a sentence. Here, a question that will determine the type of the essay. So far, we have been trying to see what elements are the key points IELTS would like us to focus on. Now we have the essay type, and the essay type says, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Let me be clear. This is not an advantage-disadvantage scenario. We are not going to say the advantages of first impression and the disadvantages of first impression, and then we evaluate and say, yes, there are more advantages than disadvantages, so advantages win. No. We need to decide if this is good or bad. It's black and white because it is easier to understand this type. Generally speaking, all things considered, is it a good thing or a bad thing? We all know smoking, is it a good thing or bad thing? I'm sure you can create a list of all the advantages of smoking. And that list can have hundreds of items in it. The advantages of smoking. But generally speaking, is smoking good or bad? We all agree it's bad. That's it. That's as simple as this. Is breathing oxygen good or bad? Well, duh. So there are elements in this world that we do not need to evaluate. We just know whether they are good or bad. This is one of them. Yes. There are some small elements whether you might want to say, no, it's not 100% good. It's not 100% bad. Nothing on this planet is 100% good, nor are they 100% bad. So we still need to decide whether they're good or bad. We know oxygen is good for us. Too much oxygen is bad. We know water is good for us. Too much water is bad. We know exercise is good, but too much exercise is bad. We know food is good, but too much food is bad. That's the whole concept. Generally speaking, food is good, oxygen is good, exercise is good, cigars and cigarettes are bad. And this is the type we want to address. I want you to decide right away. First impression is good or bad? Good. I also think it's a good development, but based on this mindset, I will go ahead and read the candidate's response. When we meet someone for the first time, we often make quick decisions about what kind of person they are and if we like them or not. I love this first sentence because in the very first sentence, it is independence. We are introducing the concept for the first time. It is completely separate from the rubric. We don't make any references to the rubric. Rubric is rubric, done. We are talking about essay. Our essays at IELTS are stand-alone. They are independent. They should be. And in the introduction, we introduce the concept for the first time to our audience. First time, make a very good impression on your examiners. Some people think this is good, all right, while others think it is bad. I'm not a fan of the words good and bad myself. You could change them. Some people think this is beneficial. Others believe it's detrimental. You could use these words instead. But this topic is about good and bad, so black and white. So yeah, I can live with this. In this essay, I will explain both sides and give my opinion. Well, no. There are no both sides. It's not a discussion-led essay. There aren't some people who believe this is good and some people who believe it's bad. It's not that. Do you believe this is good or bad? Tell me. I don't care about other people at this point. That's not a good start. First, making quick decisions about people can be helpful. Okay. Helpful is a good alternative for good and beneficial. Our first impressions can help us know how to behave around new people. Good explanation. For example, if someone looks friendly, we might feel more comfortable talking to them. Also, first impressions can help us stay safe. I have a feeling I am listening to a Morse code. This is a sentence, and then that's another sentence, and this another sentence. It's a little larger one. And then another sentence. They're small sentences. Okay, maybe the writer wanted to control the accuracy. Also, first impressions can help us stay safe. So the first one, knowing the behavior of people around us, and the second one, for the safety, for our own safety. If someone seems dangerous, we can avoid them. This can be important in places where we do not know anyone. That's very good explanation. Maybe one example could help us here. I mean, this is a complex structure, but still, maybe a little bit more development could be helpful. So basically, we realize it is a positive thing based on these two reasons. Probably this one is negative, and there are some reasons here. On the other hand, as I expected, quick decisions can be wrong. Another small sentence. We might judge someone based on their looks or how they dress, but these things do not always show their true personality. This is a good sentence, good explanation. For example, a person might look serious because they are having a bad day, but they could be very kind and funny. Another nice sentence, good explanation. The example is a little bit generic. Maybe instead of saying, for example, a person might look serious, we could say, for example, an office worker 5 days before his payday looks serious because he is thinking on how to get by until the end of the month. That would have been a better example than this. This is very generic. If we make quick judgments, we might miss the chance to know nice people. This can lead to misunderstandings and missed opportunities. Can I have an example here? No. Short, clear, healthy sentences, I agree. That's very good. But the second element lacks a proper example. I love the first examples, but the second one is empty. It's blank. We needed another example. All right, so we understood there are some circumstances going on, and they are not always accurate. Okay, fair. But they don't, I mean, this doesn't make the whole thing negative. Apples are good for us. Yes, some apples come rotten or not ripe, so they are not good for you, but generally, apples are healthy. I don't know, I'm not very convinced with this element of negativity. But maybe that's me. Maybe because because I am biased. I love first impressions, and I understand first impressions can be very effective and very effective in a positive way. In my opinion, making quick decisions about people can be both good and bad. This is a very hard way to convince. It's both good and bad. You know, you have a hard time convincing me exactly when, why, how it can be good and it can be bad. It can help us stay safe and feel comfortable, but it can also make us miss out on knowing good people. I think it is important to be open-minded and give people a chance to show how they really are. We should trust our first impressions, but also be ready to change our minds if we learn more about someone. Fair point, but it doesn't deny if I believe this is a positive thing, I still do this. I believe first impressions are positive things, they're good things that I can use in my life, but I still am careful when I interact with people. I give them 10% chance to redeem themselves, to prove themselves again. If I believe first impressions are bad for me, and I believe that's when I get that information, it's bad, it's negative, I judge somebody quickly and things like that. Again, I implement this same strategy. Because I receive some information, I will modify automatically based on that information, but this time I may consider a second chance for that individual. So this happens whether you believe this is a good thing or a bad thing. That needed to be clarified here, and it's not clear. In conclusion, quick judgments can be useful in some situations, but they can also lead to mistakes. It is important to balance our first impressions with an open mind to get to know people better. We stayed in this 50-50 scenario. We don't know whether it is a good idea or a bad idea. And we came up with a third response that it is both good and bad, and we just need to be careful. We are careful all the time, whether it is good or bad, as I just explained. 299 words, I'm not very happy with the response. Not very happy. It's not sufficiently addressed. Yes, we addressed all parts of the task. We had a position. The position is in the middle exactly, but the examples were overgeneralized. Some ideas didn't have examples, so they lack support. Yeah, and the supporting ideas didn't have the focus I was looking for. The arrangement, I didn't know which one is first. The positive thing is first or the negative thing is first. I had to read paragraph by paragraph to understand what this paragraph is about. So no, the introduction didn't do a very good job in that case, and some discourse markers there was underuse. We had so many sentences like a telegram. A sentence, full stop, sentence, full stop, sentence, full stop, sentence, full stop. But other than that, we needed better discourse markers. We didn't have that many. And yeah, this mechanical is because you mean sentence, 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 small, simple sentences, too many of them next to each other. That is also reflected here because we have limited grammatical structures and we have limited vocabulary. One thing I can say about this essay that I'm very happy about is that there are either very negligible errors or very few, and those errors do not affect my understanding. And the vocabulary choices, it could be better. Just, it's very simplistic. Like, it's good, bad, helpful. Somebody has a bad day. Very simple structures, very simple sentences, nothing interesting. Accurate, I love accuracy, and thanks to accuracy, we actually get 6. Otherwise, imagine on top of this range, you had other errors. That would have been bad. I like this approach. I always think it's better to write shorter sentences, but they're clear. That is the first step, but we shouldn't stop there. Write short sentences, clear, minimize the number of errors. That's the first approach. The next approach would be now to just start introducing collocations, vocabulary, phrasal verbs, variety of grammatical structures. We shouldn't just rely on 1 or 2 conditional sentences. There are other grammatical structures that we can use. Anyway, 6 is a good score. This could go to 6.5 if we had just a better vocabulary range. This could go to 6.5, or maybe better discourse markers and a little better thesis statement. On those 2-3 notes at the end, if you wish to see other videos in this series, you know where to click. Please consider subscribing, and I hope I'll be assessing your essays or maybe task 1 letter reports next time. Take care.